Oh, hey, what's up, Patriots? It's Friday, September 22nd, 2023. This is J6 News and Updates and Chat. In America, we got a problem. We got problems. These problems have been going on for a long time. And it's unfortunate, but now's the time we got to stand up and take care of it. Hey, Jen G, Doxing Grandma, Beverly, how you doing? Skipped the day yesterday. I was out of cell phone range yesterday. I couldn't find a spot anywhere to do a broadcast, man. Where I was at was just a dead zone or something. Hey, Free, how you doing? Doxing Grandma. Third of its kind, how you doing? Freedom! I love it, man. And there's my watermark, police. Thanks. Together we can make this work, I guess. So I got two vigils to go over today. The vigil from Wednesday and the vigil from Thursday. And the phone calls tapered off a little bit, but still, Matt DeSilva, every night, he's calling in, man. Inmate number 385960, as he is also known as. That was the day Ray Epps was arrested. And it just seemed odd that to him that it's the same day that, Merrick Garland was testifying. Just unusual, you know. It's hard to get the information on Ray Epps' court proceedings. We don't really know on the normal channels that we go to look for these things. They're not posting stuff about the Ray Epps trial. So apparently he was arrested for breaking curfew, being out past curfew. Okay, he's not being arrested for saying, tomorrow we got to go into the Capitol, or he's not getting arrested for putting his hands on the bike racks and shaking them with a bunch of other people. He's not getting arrested for putting his hand on that big sign that all these other guys got arrested for touching in a deadly weapon, a deadly sign that was used. So this sign got hoisted over the crowd and everybody just kind of held onto it so it didn't crash into their heads. Well, a lot of people ended up going to jail for that. And it was blown up into assault with a deadly sign charges with terrorist enhancements for a lot of the J6ers, which is outrageous. So we got a problem. This is going on. This is going on. What's up, USA? How's it going, Sean? Good job today, man. And it's just hard to get the information. He just so happens to have the same judge that was in charge of the FISA court's decisions to spy on Americans. Of course, we know that the Patriot Act gave him the ability to spy on Americans, and they had to take it to court. The FBI had to present evidence to these certain judges, and they would say, yeah, you can go spy on that American. And it turns out a lot of the information that these FISA courts were receiving were lies, exaggerations, fabricated evidence, and that information has come out, but no repercussions for these people. None whatsoever. Nobody went to jail for lying to a FISA court. Nobody went to jail for perjury and that for, it's just a two-tiered system, man. So the same judge is in charge of Ray Epps' trials, indicted on the same day Merrick Garland is explaining how unbiased the DOJ is, just how Hunter Biden had charges added to him when Donald Trump was going to court. So they do this, you know, like Donald Trump is saying, hey, you're just targeting me. And he, at the same day, they charge Hunter with some charges, and they go, well, whoa, we're being fair. Look, Hunter's getting charges too. And then the same day that Merrick Garland is being accused of having an unbiased DOJ, Ray Epps gets a misdemeanor out past curfew charge. So, you know, they're like saying, here, look, we're charging Ray Epps. So we're not unbiased. This is baloney, man. This is baloney. It makes me mad too, Toxin Grandma. Equal justice. So Matt DeSilva thinks Ray Epps is going to be out by Christmas. He's not even in jail. He's allowed to do a video conference for his hearing that he had yesterday. And I still have not heard news or found news on what happened during that hearing. If he's supposed to be going into quarantine, if he's going to be in the pod with the J6ers, if he's going to be calling out the Freedom Corner and giving us news on how he's doing in there. Boy, that'd be something to get a call from Ray Epps, wouldn't it? I bet he'd get an earful from us. Matt DeSilva, still unbreakable, relying on the Lord for his strength and his courage. And he's just full of thank yous for people that have sent him letters, people that have sent him transcripts, because, and then that brought up the thing about their tablets. And I was always wondering about this too. These guys got tablets in the prison there. And I was wondering, can they watch YouTube videos? Can they go on the internet? But turns out, no. This is a controlled, closed-circuit tablet system. And there are two different things that they can get. And both of them, they're charged for both of these. And one is at 3 cents a minute, and they can use that tablet for making phone calls, watching some movies, and playing games, video games, and texts. So that's 3 cents a minute. So that's $1 times 60, $1.80 an hour to do that. And then the other one is 5 cents a minute, and that has like the premium games on it. That has their news sources like CNN, MSNBC they get. But he said that they also get Real America's Voice and Epic Times and Gateway Pundit on there. So that's kind of encouraging. Gateway Pundit has been putting out excellent articles. If you have not tuned into them or figured out how to see Gateway Pundit articles, I would highly recommend it because they are reporting on J6 regularly. So that's 5 cents a minute. So what is that an hour? That's $3 an hour that it costs them. So all this costs money. The J6ers aren't getting out tomorrow. This is where we fall in, and we try to comfort our patriots that stood up for us on January 6th against the fraudulent election. Got to keep hammering that home. And that's where we can jump in and we can try to comfort them if we can. On the 21st or the 20th, Dwight gave a great prayer. Chris Quaggin called in and you know, rather than saying Joe Biden, you know, I hate Joe Biden, he came up with a comedy routine where he said, all right, I'm no longer Chris Quaggin, I'm Chris Ray, W-R-A-Y, I think he was presuming there. And he did a little comedy skit that was pretty funny, but it's funny only because we laugh because we don't know how else to react to the fact that MSM is totally believable. Hey, they got everything right on MSM. And he just went over a whole list, and I just found it nice and comforting that he could be lighthearted about all of this. He said, Chris Quaggin also said, keep spreading the J6 info. People don't even know it's going on, and we run into that all the time. There's people we start talking to, and they go, what? They're still busting people for J6? And yes, they are still busting people for J6. In fact, they got a list of 3,200 names that they wanted to go after. They have only gone after 1,200 of them so far. So simple math is that there's still 2,000 more they're going to get. All right, what's going on in the chat? Somebody needs a wrench. All right, well, let's just watch the trolls work here for a second. Yeah, he's a troll. He's got nothing better to do. Sits around and watch videos of people he hates so he can shit post. All right, that's real good, man. Have you heard about Jesus, bud? How about James? James, have you heard about Jesus? Because people that you don't agree with, and just look at yourself. The tip of the spear right here. That is why this country has gotten to the point where it is we have lost our morality. We have allowed our churches to be bullied around by the government. All right, you guys don't like these guys. I could be avoiding anything, man. Yeah, they're out there. They're out in force, man. They were all over Sean's thing today. Yeah, isn't that wow? Praying for you. All right, goodbye. Yeah, funny and sad at the same time. Okay, let's see what this guy's got to say. Well, maybe this is what we're going to end up doing today. Jesus would never agree with your idiotic opinions and traitorous behavior. So we love God, family, and country. And Jesus wouldn't like that. Okay. I guess so. The two greatest of God's laws. Okay, that's a new one on me. Yeah, the flag fell. All right, that happens. What are you supposed to do? Burn the flag when it falls? I don't think so. When you're carrying a flag all over a battlefield, that doesn't apply. So anyway, let's get back to this. Trolls will be trolls. People don't even know what's going on. I mean, we just sat through 8 years of Barack Obama being the president. And did anybody stand up? No. A couple people stood up. But Barack Obama finished out 2 terms in office, and he wasn't even born in America. I mean, that was a proven fact. Joe Arpaio proved that whole fact. His birth certificate is a fake. And we sat through 8 years of Barack Obama. We didn't even revolt towards the end of that. And look at the damage he did to our country. He opened the border up. He created racism was reborn under Barack Obama. He did the cages thing, and then they accused other people of doing it. The problem is, folks, is we have lost our morality, we have lost our strength, and we're scared. Everybody's scared to stand up and say something. So just know that the future is going to be different in this country. And it's either going to be an embrace the suck type of a thing if nobody stands up. And if we all do stand up at the same time, this could be over tomorrow. Okay? Tomorrow, this could be over. But it's probably not going to be over tomorrow because all these people are walking around here hoping the store's going to be open, hoping they can, and slowly, one by one, we're getting picked off, man. It's one by one. There's fentanyl deaths every day. One by one, they're throwing people in jail for not just J6, but also for protesting outside of abortion clinics. Also for all kinds of stupid, frivolous laws, man. We got so many laws, who can even keep track of them? The attorneys that are in charge of here, they go to school for 7 or 8 years to become an attorney. But you can't even ask a criminal attorney to, represent you for a divorce. Even the attorneys don't understand each of the scopes of their fields because it has gotten so cumbersome that nobody can even understand it. And now we got judges that I don't think they can understand it either because they're making political judgments now. And that is not freedom. That is not liberty. That is not the heart of the Constitution. Everybody should be able to understand the law. Everyone. And it should be simple. You should be able to represent yourself. There should be citizen watch groups on prisons like there is in Northern Neck now, thanks to J6. Northern Neck Patriots are standing up, and even though there's no J6ers in that, they're still keeping an eye on that prison, man. Yeah, hit the thumbs up at least, trolls, for crying out loud, man. So Chris Quaggin also talked about his FBI raid. They were looking for his guns. They made a law. He said he was busted in New Jersey. So New Jersey, common Americans, criminals, used to be able to buy a gun and get a 15-round magazine for that gun. I guess, I don't know if it was Chris Christie or not, but they made a law that you can only have 10-round magazines for your rifles. And what a stupid law. And that's so some politician could puff his chest up and go, I made a law that's going to make less people get shot because now you can only put 10 rounds in your rifle instead of 15. But all it does is make everyone that has a 15-round clip for their gun a criminal. So luckily, Chris Quaggin says while the FBI was pilfering through his whole house, looking for everything, oh no, the Proud Boys went to that Philly prison. All right, that's not a good place to be. I think that's where Robert Morse is right now too, and another guy. And yeah, it's a shithole because it's in Philadelphia. So while the FBI is raiding Chris Quaglin's house, terrorizing his wife, he said he could see the state cops, the New Jersey state cops, sitting down the road, waiting to find out if he had 15-round clips in his gun still. And he found comfort that he was able to totally disappoint them because he jumped through the stupid 15-round clip loop and got rid of them and had only 10-round magazine for his guns. Once again, we're hearing from Chris. Chris is having bad, domestic problems with his wife now, and just the most horrid problems with the court system here. These are men that haven't had criminal histories. There's a lot of veterans that took an oath to this country, that took that oath seriously, and that's why they were at J6. There are sheriffs, there are policemen that are busted for crimes in J6 from being at the Capitol that day. People with no criminal history, and they're throwing the book at these people. The judges are supposed to be lenient. They're supposed to take into account, they have some kind of point system now. You got to have an attorney just to understand the point system. Okay, so Chris is hanging in there, man. We're praying for you, Chris Quaggin. We are we're trying to rally support. We're still trying to bring awareness to all this, and we just got to keep fighting until this is over. This is done. This is remedied. And changing the whole country isn't the remedy. The remedy is get back to the Constitution that has worked for 248 years, and let's just get to 250. So under the Constitution, that's what we have to do. Then Nicole got up. She was in the Merrick Garland hearing, and just they actually, you know how Mickey and Nicole and Tammy usually sit in those hearings, and they get seats, and nobody attends these hearings anyway, so usually you can see them in the crowd. But she said at the Merrick Garland hearing, they had suits sitting in the chairs, so they couldn't go into those seats, and they were not able to be on camera, but they were in the room. And then somebody else, as Merrick Garland was filing out of the room, somebody shouted out, you know, and I don't think they're allowed to do this, about him. He'll repent, and he is lying to the American people. Yeah, doctors, lawyers, first responders, veterans, Americans, right, Glenn Ryan. These are who the J6ers are. These are not criminals. And they weren't acting criminally when they went to, you know, have their First Amendment rights heard about the election, about the fraudulent, rigged election of 2020. So some guy yelled out to Merrick Garland as he was leaving the room. That got on social media somehow, but that was not anybody from our group, okay? They might have been put in there to make it look like somebody from our group did that, because that's kind of unruly behavior for these hearings, and might be trying to get them to get kicked out, but that was not anybody from our group. Yeah, Garland was pretty much lame. He did look a little rattled to me, though. So if that, hopefully that's something good there. Then Jeff Sable got on the phone. We're still on 9/20. We're still on Wednesday's vigil here. And he said that the Proud Boys were, you know, their temperatures was tested. He knew they were getting let out of the prison there. So he said something about how they take you in the van and they just drive you around so you don't know where you are. And I don't know why they do that. I mean, that's subhuman treatment, isn't it? They're supposed to have tabs on everybody. I know there's like day limits. If somebody dies in prison, they got a certain amount of days to tell family members that the person has died or something, but they're allowed to just do whatever they want. They're allowed to hide these prisoners. They're allowed to just put them in places nobody knows for days sometimes. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So he calls that diesel therapy. They throw you in the van, drive you around to disorient you. And then, in case nobody's noticed, now that Nicole and Tammy and all our gals are going in these hearings, these things are scripted. These things are just as scripted as the J6 Commission was. All right. So we don't have a government. We don't have a government in America. These people come in there, they read a piece of paper that somebody else wrote for them. They just read off the paper, and that's as far as this is going. This is more talk. We've seen this play 100 times, and we got to come up with another plan. The elections are still rigged. We, the people, still own this country. It's still our country. It's not their country. So we got to get smart, America. I don't know what the answer is. There's peaceful ways of doing it still, so let's explore those options first. So it is a uniparty. Nothing is happening. This is all political theater. The Republicans are trying to interrogate Garland, and the Democrats get up there, and all they want to do is say how bad Trump is. I mean, it's a shit show. It's a shit show. This is going nowhere. These hearings are going nowhere. So unless something big happens in the next couple of months, we're not going to have a valid election coming up here. So, and that's it. That's it for the Wednesday vigil. Thursday's vigil. Last night, my buddy Roy was at Freedom Corner, man. It was good to see you there, Roy. And Roy also mentioned that they are going to be, he was out of town for a couple of weeks, so the Lewisburg vigil was put on hold for a little while. And he will be firing that up again tomorrow. And I think he's going to do it from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So if you're around, look for the notification bell from the YouTube channel called J6 Vigils. And that will be Roy and Tina having a vigil from the Lewisburg area. They're not going to be at Lewisburg Prison, but that is the area of Pennsylvania that they're in. There is one prisoner in Lewisburg still. I believe his name is James Grant. He's been on phone probation for like 90 days or something ridiculous. Apparently he's going to try to call in, and I'm going to try to call in and give them an update on Freedom Corner News, and they're going to try to get a couple of other phone calls. Last time they put a vigil on was 3 weeks ago, and it was cram-packed with phone calls from J6ers. That's all it was for 2.5 hours. And it was a good vigil. So if you're into that kind of stuff and hearing from our J6ers right from their mouths, tune in to J6 Vigils tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Another great person to see who is back was Mickey. Mickey's back. She went home to be with her brother after some surgery, and it was good to see her back. She's looking really good. Good to see you again, Mickey. And we're gonna just keep plugging along. Keep plugging along. We got to do what we got to do. We can't sit down and do nothing. So Freedom Corner has been going on for 400 days now in a row, and going for another day in a row tonight. Nothing can stop it. We will overcome. We will overcome. So yeah, Nikki mentioned that the seats were held at the Garland hearing, so they couldn't see Nikki and Tammy. Zach Rail and Dominic Pizzola was moved. And apparently now more information has come out that the other Proud Boys have been moved out of that prison, and which is normal because they have received their sentencing now, and that's when they leave DC, and they are now in the custody of the Bureau of Prisons. Matt DeSilva called in yesterday, and then just kind of chit-chatted about news. The border is exploding right now. There's just thousands of people coming across that border every day. And the border should be the biggest deal. I don't know if this information was out last night or not, but the Governor Scott issued an emergency. Or no, I'm sorry, Greg Abbott called for help. He's going to bring in the National Guard. He's just calling for people to come down and help shut that border down. The federal government is totally leaving them hanging. We are not going to wait for their negligence to create just a catastrophe down there. So Greg Abbott's on it now, apparently, 2.5 years after Joe Biden opened up the whole border. So a little late there, Greg Abbott, but all right, it's good to see you in action down there. Some other news that Matt DeSilva noticed was that people in New York are starting to stand up against the illegal immigrant thing. So Greg Abbott, I think, started the thing where they were busing them up to New York, Chicago, Philadelphia. They brought a bunch into Martha's Vineyard. Remember that? Like a year ago, and Martha's Vineyard residents lost their mind and shipped them right off of the island again, showcasing their hypocrisy, because those are the liberals that are screaming, oh, we got to let these people in, they're persecuted. So it's good to see some people in New York. There's 15 million people in New York, though, and there was like 1,000 people standing up. So a minuscule amount of people are standing up, but finally somebody's standing up. New York is just focused on green energy and climate change. I mean, these are imaginary problems, America. It gets hot in the summertime. It gets cool in the wintertime. God says in his scriptures that he will make the seasons come in their time. It's not going to end. God guarantees that in the scriptures. If you're a Christian and you believe in climate change, you better check your faith. You better read the Bible again or something, or you're going to the wrong church. God upholds this, and he guarantees it in the Bible. So if you're a Christian, you're screaming about climate change, take a look at yourself. Because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for you. We got God, the highest God. The God above all gods is our God, and he takes care of us. Not one sparrow falls from the sky without him noticing it. You think he's not going to take care of you? He's taking care of the J6ers in prison for 2.5 years. He's taking care of me. He's taking care of Mickey. I mean, how can you fathom being Mickey Widoff right now, you know? How does she stand there every day without the power of God in her? And if New York gets their way with the green energy thing and the climate change thing, the only person who's going to win is China, because they're the ones that are making all the new products because all the old products don't work. A gas stove's going to be obsolete because of climate change and green energy. China wins because they get to build the new stoves. China's making everything. Trump was bringing manufacturing back to America. And Trump won that election. We got an imposter in the White House. How long do we got to pretend Joe Biden is the president? The immigrants are replacing you people. All right, whether you know it or not, we know it. But all them people that got jobs now in New York, get ready to be replaced, because you are being replaced with this influx of migrants. That is what's happening. I see it in DC right now. The migrants will wear masks whenever they're told to wear a mask. They'll get a shot whenever they're told to get a shot. They're very compliant because they're illegal immigrants. It's just like the migrant workers that work at the prison. They don't say anything, because if they do, they paint a target on their butt. They get scrutinized. They're going to lose their work visa and get sent home. So these are very controllable people. The illegal migrants are very controllable people. And the work visa migrants that are working at that DC prison are very controllable people. And there's shortages everywhere right now, okay? My gas, I just filled up the gas tank yesterday. It went up 20 cents a gallon since the last time I filled it up. It's almost $70 for me to fill up my van with gas. Where does it end? We got untold amount of fuel right under our feet in America here. Trump had it all opened up. Gas was down to $1.60, $1.80 a gallon. And the day Joe Biden came in, he shut all that down. Now, why we can have a president that can do that, I don't understand that. I do not understand. I don't know why your daffodils bloom in January. Aren't daffodils like early blooming plants? Okay, then, all right, and then after Matt DeSilva got off the phone again, thank you, Matt, for calling in every day. We love hearing from you, man. Nicole got up, and we are going to have, on October 10th, we're going to have a walk down to the Capitol. It's Ashley Babbitt's birthday. We're going to lay flowers from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock at the Capitol again, and it will be what it will be. We're announcing it. Whatever you want to do, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna lay a flower for Ashley Babbitt on the Capitol steps. We also got to keep Freedom Corner running, and the way we keep Freedom Corner running is we support the leaders that are there, and the leaders that are there are Mickey Widoff, Nicole Reffitt, and Tammy Jackson, and Helene is there also in a support role. So the way we support them, it takes money it just takes money, man. They got to have a place to stay while they're in DC. We got to have a generator there. We got to have a sound system. We got to have gas for a generator. There's, so the way to support that is forashley.com. You can support the Freedom Corner movement through that website. That is the only website that you can donate money to support the success and continuation of Freedom Corner. So please donate there. They also have the Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne Boylan t-shirts for sale there, which I think are becoming an icon. It wouldn't be bad to get one of them shirts and wear it. I have people ask me every time I put that shirt on about something about J6. You know, who's Ashley Babbitt, or is that still going on? There we go, Sunkissed. And they got all different kinds of colors. They're nice t-shirts too. They're not like chintzy t-shirts. And as of yesterday, the Proud Boys were moved. We didn't know where they went. Now we know they're in the Philly prison. Is that confirmed now? We have, I think, confirmed that they went to the Philly jail because they didn't get on an airplane. They didn't get on Con Air to get flown somewhere to a prison. So they were driven there. That makes sense that they would be in Philly. I thought they were going to go to Northern Neck, but I don't know. Yeah, I hope you're doing all right, Silly, for him. Prayers for healing, man. You work so hard. You're an amazing patriot. She was out handing out constitutions on Constitution Day. She handed out 100 constitutions to people at their local park. She goes to an awesome church, apparently, where their church goes to the park and interacts with the public, you know? I mean, they're out there talking to the neighbors and trying to get more people to become aware of God and Jesus. And just, man, what a great church. I'd go to church if I had one of them around here. October 3rd will be 1,000 days since January 6th, 2021. The 1,000th day mark will be hit on October 3rd. And we have had a Republican-controlled House of Representatives that whole time. And what have they done for us? What have our Republicans done for us? The Republican president got ripped off in an election, and the Republican Party did nothing. Okay, Jeb for Freedom's got the get-go. It is on the BOP inmate locator list now. All 5 of the Proud Boys are currently at FDC Philadelphia. All right. Confirmed. Yeah, MGB, you can't stop Silly for him. You can't stop her. She just keeps going. She's going to be in Tulsa on Sunday for a rally. So, I mean, there you have it. How many times are we going to have to say it? Never forget, never forget. Or Barack Obama gets 8 years in office, wasn't even born in America, all right? We don't know where he came from. Was a senator from Illinois for 2 years, and then he gets elected president. What's up with that? Then we get a rigged election in 2020. It's obvious that Joe Biden did not win that election. How long do we got to do? And then for 1,000 days now, Republicans sit down and do nothing about it. It's okay to ask for help, man. The J6 community, our Patriot family, we're putting together programs that will help J6 families get aid if they need it, get information. We're just trying to fall into place where we don't know, where there is no other agency. It's not like FEMA is going to come in and help the J6ers or the welfare system. I mean, this is our charity, the little minuscule amount of charity that we have left. After paying all our taxes and all getting screwed over with everything the government puts us through, we're putting what little we have left into helping our J6ers. Yeah, I'd like to get some of those other links up in here too. Patriot Mail Project, there's a great one there. Write letters to the prisoners. We've got a couple they got a birthday list on there for birthdays that are coming up. Okay, Robert Guvias, yesterday he read off and showed the Epps plea deal. So he had a plea deal. Gee, everybody else that does a plea deal doesn't get a very good shake. Turbo. Okay, and then here's direct to J6. This is a way to get commissary. Their only link with information and news, and commissary, the only link with food other than the garbage that they make for them there. And then this is one Silly puts up, access catalog. Okay, and then Tammy got up and spoke last night towards the end of the night. Northern Neck Vigil, I mentioned them earlier in the broadcast here. They are celebrating their 1-year anniversary there. And the Northern Neck Patriot group started up that vigil down there. And there was 25 J6ers in that jail at the time being treated horrendously. We did get the superintendent to resign once we started bringing attention to that. Something I found out about that place when we started examining them and looking up stuff was that some of the judges in the Northern Neck area were investors in the jail. Now, I don't know how that can be legal, but that's what it is. That's what we found out. All right, Julius, I don't know this guy that you mentioned. Robert Guvias. I'll have to look him up, Julius. If you say he's good, I take your word for it. Hey there, Bonnie. So 1-year anniversary for the Northern Neck Patriots. They are putting a vigil on. They have a web or a YouTube channel, and they are broadcasting it. They do it once a week. John Haynes is involved with that. He is the editor and owner of the Northern Neck Center. I think once a month or maybe bi-monthly, and there is always a J6 article in there, among other things. Yeah, that's what we found out. Oh, the DC jail's owned by privately by judges. How is that legal? How is that the civilian meetings every month that jail has to have? And they lost their accreditation, and all of the J6ers that were there were shipped out very quickly. And they were making a lot of money off holding the J6ers because it's kind of close to DC, but it isn't in DC. And that's some of the trouble we stirred up for them. And we should do that because that sounds like corruption to me. Okay, and then Jeff Sable got on the phone. He said the 5 Proud Boys were gone. He didn't know where they went. He talked about Con Air, how fun it is to fly on Con Air, which is what they put you on with when you're being transferred to a prison, like all the way out to LA or Colorado or Texas or something. They put you on a plane. They call it Con Air. I think there was a movie about that, Nicolas Cage or something. But he says it is a miserable experience because there is no bathroom service on that plane. So I can imagine what happens on that plane. Hey, small water guy, how you doing? Good to see you here, bud. Yeah, they make lots of money. Northern Neck was making a lot of money off of that. And then, let's see what else happened. So there has been some shakeups going on right now. Okay, Murdoch has stepped down. We're into some news now here. Murdoch has stepped down from Fox, and his son has taken over Fox News. So let's keep an eye on that and see what goes on there. RFK came out and talked. RFK Jr., Robert Kennedy Jr., has come out and spoken out against Garland. Robert Kennedy Jr. is running for the Democrat nomination. I believe he's just going to get railroaded just like Bernie Sanders did, because he is obviously not in the club with the cabal that's in power right now in this country, that took over, that coup d'etat that happened on January 6th or January 20th. And then Greg Abbott calling for help to defend the border. Term limits. Everyone's talking term limits again. Republicans have talked about it. Democrats have talked about it for 40 years now that I know of. Why don't we have it? Good question. It's a scripted play, people. It's a scripted play. It's kabuki theater in D.C. We don't really elect these people. Our elections are frauds. We got to get back to real elections. That is the only way out of this. Wipe everything clean. You register to vote right now for this election coming up, or you don't vote. Paper ballots with an ID, counted by hand. That is the only way to get our elections back. And it is not rocket science. It's not absurd. We don't got to buy a bunch of computers from somebody. There's no equipment involved with it. It's just Americans running their own election. And that's about it, Patriots. That's about it. I want to have time to tune in and watch the Vigil tonight. I'm sitting in a real pretty spot, so I'd like to show it to you for a while. We are along a nice river here, nice and quiet. There's a road, I don't know, quarter mile that way. It's not totally quiet, but it's not DC. And then I can put up some of your comments here if anyone's got anything. Thank you, Cleo. God bless you all. Yeah, there was a guy up there fishing in waders. We have a beautiful country, America, and it's our country. Yeah, maybe this is an idea. Prisons got corrupt when we turned them into private businesses. And then why did we do that? Because government officials made them so corrupt that they cost too much money. Down to the river to pray. All right, we're going to have to pray. And then check this out, man. Somebody just found this old chair and just strung it up into the trees here. Is this a cool spot? And people just do this stuff. I mean, this is just a place along the river. There's an Amish farm up on the top of that hill over there. Hey, Cindy. There's an Amish farm, like right up on that hill, and he's got sheep, and they come down on that hill. So this is just across the street from that farm. There's like a neighborhood up on hill, but this is just a random spot along the river. No big deal. It's not like an official park or nothing. Just another beautiful spot of America. And these spots are everywhere, and everywhere has a home in America, and they got places where they go. And if you don't, I don't know, if you live in the city, it's a different scene. All right, there's the forashley.com website. Let's keep Freedom Corner rolling, Patriots. Mickey and Nicole and Tammy are doing such a fantastic job. Their hearts are in this. We gotta do something. And so far, 400 days in a row seems to be working with that. We have had an impact on the J6 movement. We've exposed lots of wickedness, not just J6 related, but also the city of DC. Look what goes on there. Nobody knew about that before we got there. All right, I'll put this one up one more time. Thank you, Sunkist. Direct to J6. This is a way to get the commissary money to the prisoners, the political prisoners. Yeah, I gotta agree with this. Metal is joy. Rebecca is doing an awesome job on the corner. Out of all of us, she is the only one that has been there like consistently, I think, now for 400 days. Glory B is doing a great job there lately, but she just can't be there every night. Tammy's stream looks a lot better now. I think she's doing a good job. And then USA 76.4 Ashley, who is Sean, he just got started. He's a brand new YouTuber. He started up about the same time I did. Him and I learned a lot of stuff together. He was able to be there while I was away. And then we've had other all-stars from the past. We got Stormtrooper, 1791 Stormtrooper. He was there for a solid year before he had to finally go home and take care of like government malarkey with his car registrations and leases and stuff with his apartment that he has. Yeah, Dwight's always there with a prayer. Dwight's always there setting up the equipment. He is definitely taking care of business there. Just everyone falls into place wherever they can. And Lily's there waving a flag with him. Dwight started up every night. These are amazing patriots, folks. It's an honor to stand with them and work with them. Okay, here's the link for J6 Vigils tomorrow. This is the vigil that's being held out of the Lewisburg area. This was started up by a couple of great patriots, Diane and Lara. And they actually got me started. That's how I got started with streaming on YouTube. Because they wanted to start a channel, they just couldn't be in the area. I was in the area. They set it all up. Got it all hooked up on my phone. I just went out there and pointed the camera, and then from there, I've kind of figured it out. All right, I've seen this guy before. Watching the Watchers. I'm always looking for good sources of information. So I'm gonna have to look that guy up. I'm surprised I'm not onto him already. Well, thank you, Cindy. I enjoy streaming, I really do. It's fun. Yeah, Roy was at the corner. He just had a nice vacation with his family in another state. So he was away, and that's why the J6 Vigil in Lewisburg was not broadcast for the last couple weeks. Yeah, we got Dwight and Lily and Young. They are great patriots, and look what they go through to be there. Everyone that shows up on that corner just gets ripped on by people, you know? It's ridiculous. The cops just sit there and let them do it, but I gotta admit, at the same time, the cops, nobody's come down and physically attacked us down there, so I doubt anyone will while there's 12 cop cars sitting around us every night. So Robert is an attorney then that explains lawsuits so you can understand them? Okay. Maybe I have seen him. But anyways, folks, it's getting about to be 6 o'clock. I just wanted to touch base with you all. I want this to be a space we can come together, hopefully daily, but I mean, sometimes I just find myself in a spot I can't do it. And I'm moving around right now. getting parts for my van. I got to do a transmission. I got to fix the transmission. It works still, but it's getting clunky, and I don't want it breaking down on me in DC. So still diagnosing what's wrong. If I got to buy a new one, it's a ton of money. But I'm hoping I can diagnose it and figure it out. And I got a lot of help in that department here because we got a lot of motorheads that live around here. God bless them. So we still got time to get a bite to eat before the vigil. I think we're gonna close it out right now. And I'll see you guys all at the corner tonight. Yeah, transmissions are expensive, Bonnie. But we got motorheads here, and we always figure out how to do it on the cheap and cheap. You know, we don't got to do 3,000 bucks at the dealer or nothing here. So God bless you all. Thanks for joining in with me. Thanks for being in the battle. Let's pray to our God. Let's look after our families. And let's get our country back on track, America. Because we got problems. This is Jericho. Over and out.